Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our social media webinar brought to you by TicketForce. We are TicketForce's marketing team, Serendipit Consulting, and we are very excited to share some great information with you about how increasing your post reach on Facebook will help with ticket sales. If at any point during today's webinar you have a question or comment for us, please feel free to send a tweet to TicketForce with the hashtag TFWebinar, and we will be more than happy to answer your question as quickly as we can. Today, we will be covering everything you need to know about exposure on Facebook and how to use secret tactics for your organization in order to sell more tickets. You may be wondering what we mean by gaining more exposure for your posts, but don't worry, you will be an expert on the strategies by the end of this webinar. So you're probably wondering, how do Facebook and marketing really relate? Can Facebook really help you sell more tickets? Well, to give you a quick background, Facebook is a social media platform that is utilized to stay connected with friends, businesses, and organizations a person may be interested in. The concept dates back to 2003, when the idea was conceived by Mark Zuckerberg, who was a Harvard student at the time. In 2004, Facebook, originally called thefacebook.com, began as a way for Harvard classmates to keep in touch with each other. As with all revolutionary concepts and ideas, there was some drama, with accusations made by Harvard classmate twins Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss that Zuckerberg stole their idea, but the lawsuit was eventually settled by both parties. Facebook has definitely evolved over the past decade, and they've come really far since 2003. Facebook has seen changes from its name to design, functionality, and much more. Facebook is now also a publicly traded company. While Facebook was originally created for friends to stay in the loop with one another, it has recently proved that it can be used for business purposes too. Most organizations now have a Facebook fan page. Fans can like the brand page to stay updated on all the happenings of that organization. This is a similar concept to friends staying in touch with each other on the platform. Organizations use Facebook pages to not only share updates, but also for marketing purposes when a new product, service, or event makes its debut. Organizations also utilize Facebook for promotional contests and sneak peeks of new offerings to come. On Facebook, organizations can engage with fans, bringing a personality to an otherwise seemingly intangible brand. Facebook has recently rolled out many changes in its algorithm, which impacts the world of Facebook marketing as we know it. Marketers everywhere have worked Facebook into their advertising and promotion strategies, all at a minimal cost. However, because this sector is booming, Facebook is attempting to better manage the content that shows up in the newsfeed. This is both good and bad for marketers and the organizations that they represent. Until recently, owners of business pages have been able to have high organic reach with their posts. This has made engagement with fans and followers soar for organizations. But with these recent algorithm changes, post reach is declining, meaning that less people are seeing your content. So what is organic reach, you ask? Organic reach, as defined by Brian Boland from Facebook's ad product marketing team, describes organic reach as the number of people you can reach for free on Facebook by posting on your page. Now we want to help you understand why organic reach is declining for business pages. Business pages have seen a drop in organic reach. Pages went from reaching around 12% of their followers to only about 6%, a number that will continue to drop with the recent algorithm changes. So what does this mean for your organization's fan page? It means that if you have 100 fans, your posts are only reaching 6 of them on average if you're not paying for ads and promoted posts. Brian Boland explains that there has been a decline because as the amount of content increases, so does the competition for space on newsfeed. On average, there are 1,500 stories that can appear in a person's newsfeed at any given time, which is a lot of different stories. And this number can of course increase if you have more friends on Facebook. Newsfeed is designed to show each Facebook user the content that is most relevant to them. So it filters this pool of 1,500 or more stories down to just about 300 at any given time. You can see how this could be frustrating for organizations. One company, Eat24, an online food ordering service, became so passionate about the changes that it wrote a hilariously true breakup letter to Facebook, stating all of the reasons why brands are unhappy with the algorithm changes. It also publicly announced that it would soon shut down its current Facebook business page. They said, "Truth be told, your actions make us feel like you don't respect us. Maybe you think our food-related pickup lines and sexy tater tot memes come out of nowhere, but we spend a lot of time trying to make people happy," Eat24 wrote. "So what do you do in return? You take them and you hide them from your friends." This is one of the main reasons why brands are so unhappy about the recent changes. Brand posts are getting knocked based on Facebook filtering out what the algorithm considers as spam and ranking stories based on thousands of factors that will then conclude what stories are relevant to which person. In other words, newsfeed is trying to become more engaging, but businesses are not happy. The good news is, we're here today to explain how you can overcome these challenges and make your post be seen by more people and sell more tickets. Another popular argument that you'll commonly hear is that people want to use a real-time system for content, similar to Twitter, so that people can really choose what they want to see. However, Facebook explains that given the amount of content in the average newsfeed, using a real-time system for content would actually cause pages' organic reach to decrease even further.
The really good thing to keep in mind for Facebook usage here is a lot of times you'll see a friend on Facebook maybe going to an event or who just purchased tickets for a concert. And if a couple of your friends are doing that together, Facebook, the algorithm, really considers that valuable to you, so it'll show it in your feed as a meaningful connection point. Whereas if it was real time, it would be sharing information just as it was happening, and you might miss your friends buying those tickets to that event or posting about your event at your venue with their networks too.
And I know personally there's been a lot of times that I've gone onto Facebook and I may not have known about an upcoming event going on where I live, but whenever I see that I had 5 different friends decided they're going to go to it, then it really helps you expand the reach and tell more people about the event.
If you need more proof, take a look at these statistics that we pulled concerning the drop in organic reach. So according to TechCrunch, the decline has been steady since 2012. In February of that year, pages were able to reach about 16% of their fans with their posted content organically. In September of 2013, less than a year later, pages' organic content only reached about 12.6% of their fans. And in November of that same year, it dropped to 10.15%. And then December, the downward trend continued. It was at about 7%. And in March of this year, current fan pages using that organic content are only reaching 6.51% of their targets. So like we mentioned earlier, if you're looking for ways to get your engagement up, there's different ways that we'll share with you today during the webinar that you can really help those numbers improve. Facebook's push for paid advertisements is expected to contribute to their projected ownership of 21.7% of all revenue worldwide in 2014. That's crazy to have that much of a percentage of that market right now. To better explain what these numbers mean, Facebook aims to be one of the most coveted locations for advertising out there. These changes in their algorithm, reducing the organic reach, will really push businesses towards the paid advertising on this platform. This, in turn, contributes to their goal for increased market share and the bait and switch selling technique, which attracts a customer, in this case, Facebook business page owners, to partake in paid advertising on their platform. Facebook's motive behind all of these changes lies with its push to get marketers and brands to pay for advertising. Despite all of the recent tension, not all hope is lost, as there are still ways that you can get your posts seen by more of your audiences for free. In order for your posts to gain more exposure under the current circumstances, your posting strategy needs to be tweaked to follow Facebook's new advertising regulations. Here are some general ways to do just that. The first step is to change the way you post and generate content. Don't just publish junk and things that Facebook could consider as spam in their algorithm and the way that it's received by your audience. You really want to be sharing relevant content, and you should offer something of value to your audience. Yes, Facebook has changed, but if you're still posting sexy tater tot memes, maybe it's also time for you to do the same. Step 2 is to appeal to the increasingly visual eye of audiences by posting more images and graphics. People respond better to these than they would text. We recommend branding your graphics with your company logo so that wherever posted image is shared, your organization will always have a connection to it. This will increase your brand recognition and overall awareness for your organization.
And oftentimes, this sometimes is more relevant with Pinterest, but it happens on Facebook too. People will share images that they see, and people try to click on them to figure out where they came from, and they can't find it. So adding your logo is a great way so that people always know where the image came from.
Tip number 3 is to post during off-peak hours rather than the busy hours where tons of posts are being published. It's common to post when the most pages are online, most people are online, there's a lot of action going on in that activity feed, but that's not always beneficial for businesses because your message can get lost in translation. With so much content shared at peak times, it can be more beneficial to post at less frequent times and increase reach that way. Through analytics, it's easy to find out the best times other than those peak hours to post to your audience and to find out when your audience is most responsive. To clarify, peak hours are those around lunch and then right again before bedtime. Step 4, people pay attention to posts that are engaging, so make your posts conversational and invite fans to join in on the conversation. This can be done by adding a call to action to your post or by adding phrases such as like this post or share with your friends, which encourage the conversation to go on and help your audience share your messaging with their friends too. Step 5, engage with like-minded organizations in your area. Let the organizations that are nearby know about upcoming events or relevant information. In business, the phrase "we're all in this together" definitely applies. Networking is a huge part of exposure, and by engaging with organizations that are similar to you and geographically close, you can really have a great opportunity for cross-promotion together. This means that another organization could endorse or recommend your page, product, or service on their own page, and this can double the reach efforts for both of you. Step 6, utilize hashtags and tag other organizations in your posts as well. By doing so, your post has the potential to expand reach by showing up in the news feeds for those who follow and engage with the mentioned organizations, and this will really help maximize exposure. Mashable explains a hashtag as short links preceded by the pound sign, and you can see a couple of them on our screen here. The pound sign and then the we, and the love and the hashtags for those examples. That mark turns any word or group of words into a searchable link, which really helps organize content and helps you get your message seen and customizes it to be searchable online.
So if you were posting about an upcoming event, some really good ones you'd want to use would be obviously the artist or performer that will be participating in the event, and then also a hashtag of the city that it's taking place in.
Step 7, create a Facebook event. Facebook events include all the details pertaining to the event and can be a really great way for your fans to share that they're going to your event with their friends and their networks to help expand that reach and exposure for you. By doing so, also creating an event, attendees will be constantly reminded about the event every time they go to log into Facebook, and you can post updates about the event, get your fans and get those who are attending really excited about the event and really looking forward to attending.
And another thing that's really great about Facebook events is it shows you everyone who is attending. So you're able to see what other friends that you have on Facebook that are attending, and you can kind of figure out who's all going. And sometimes that's how you really find out about these events, because you see that so-and-so is going to the event, and it really makes the event come up more in the newsfeed.
Another great way that the event page can really help you as an organization is when one of your fans says that they're going to the event, they can also share the event with their friends. And so they can do a lot of the outreach for you, telling their friends about the event, inviting them to come too, and getting those tickets sold.
And all you have to do is just set up the event on Facebook.
No matter how much we try to avoid it, eventually paid advertising will have to be the answer. With how Facebook is growing and how technology is becoming more and more intelligent, the amount of content on this social media site will continue to rise, and so will the competition. If you follow these tips, though, you will be a step above the rest and at the top of your Facebook marketing game.
So now that you've learned some new ways to reach more fans on Facebook, let's get into how you can use these techniques to help you sell more tickets. To help explain, we're going to use an ongoing example with the wildly popular pop singer Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake is touring the country, making a stop at your venue. You want to sell as many tickets as possible so that your venue sells out. The first step in achieving this goal is planning and generating better content that will appeal to Facebook's algorithm, making it more likely for your posts to be picked for your fans' timelines. The silly meme should be left out now and forever, and your content should be concise, informative, and well-constructed. Include essentials like the date, time, location, and links that will direct Facebook users to the correct place to find more information about the event. It's amazing how many people forget links. For example, link the post to your ticketing website so that they will be informed. This will also drive traffic from social media to your website, which is also a great thing. Next, once your content is at a superior level and ready to be posted, design some branded graphics to complement them. Again, these branded graphics should include your logo and an eye-catching image of Justin Timberlake, Justin's official tour logo, or something that relates to the event. The goal with branded graphics is to entice your Facebook fans to engage with your posts and share with their friends. If the graphic is shared on a fan's timeline, you will not only gain exposure with your fans, but also that person's network. It is a domino effect, making it imperative that you mark your brand on the graphic because you never know where it'll end up or who will see it. Now that you have some great content to post, you will want to post it at the best time of day possible. In order to figure out what those times are for your fans, don't be afraid to do some experimenting. Earlier we said to avoid posting at the peak times of day, and while this is a wise decision, that does not mean that you have to avoid those times altogether. Just make sure that if you do post during lunchtime, for example, you follow up at an off-peak time to ensure that your fans did in fact see your posts, and maybe do a follow-up post later that same day. Aside from peak times of day where everyone is using Facebook, there are definitely other times of day that your fans will be browsing. It just may take a little research through A/B testing and digging into analytics to figure out exactly what they are. Next, asking questions in your posts and inviting your fans to like and share your posts if they are attending will generate hype and get people talking. People crave the idea of connection, hence why our population is becoming increasingly active on social media. The generated buzz will create a little Justin Timberlake fan club that'll give attendees a go-to group of individuals to get excited about the event with, all while generating even more buzz, which is free advertising for you. When you engage with and share information with your neighbors on Facebook, not only will you reach their network, but you will also get them excited about the event, hopefully resulting in some serious cross-promotion. For example, if your venue is near multiple restaurants, you could offer concert specials for attendees, and in return, the restaurant could post about the event on their page. This goes along with our last example about generating buzz. Everyone should have the opportunity to be excited about your upcoming concerts, and really working with other neighbors and businesses that you have through social media can be a great way to help promote your upcoming events. And as we said earlier, another great way to create buzz is to use hashtags in posts. So hashtags can help you start and follow conversations about your brand, event, etc. These hashtags could be simple like JT Takeover or Phoenix Loves JT, or something equally creative and specific to both JT and your organization. This is a great opportunity for team collaboration in order to get the juices flowing. Another great idea, too, that you can always do with these hashtags is run a contest. So, for example, you could have people share a picture of like some kind of selfie contest, and selfies are so big, and have them share a selfie that's showing their excitement about the upcoming concert. and then you can choose a winner at random to win maybe free tickets to the concert.
And you can track it all on the hashtag so that you can also show how much buzz and how much excitement your community is experiencing from not only the contest itself, but also the event that's coming to town and your venue bringing it to town.
Next, whenever you're creating your Facebook event, don't forget to include any and all information that attendees may need to know. This includes date, time, location, background information on the performer, links, and anything else you want to include. This is also a great opportunity to incorporate the branded graphics that you've already created into the header image of the event. Facebook events are just another way for giddy attendees to congregate and relinquish their excitement about the event. Little do they know that the more talking and posting about the event they do on your page and through the event, the more you benefit from the free advertising. These general rules follow basic marketing logic and can be easily implemented into your posting routine. Not only will they help your organization gain more exposure in an environment that makes it difficult to do so, but your ultimate goal of selling more tickets through social media promotion will become much more attainable. Social media is meant to be lighthearted and fun. You will obviously not want to forget your goals and objectives, but there are many ways to keep those in mind, all while being fresh, expressive, and lighthearted.
Now that you better understand organic content, we're going to spend a minute explaining the different benefits that come with paid advertising. When you pay for something, you are likely to receive more perks than if you just got it for free. The same rings true for Facebook advertising. One of the first differences you will notice when you start handing over cash for your advertising efforts is the ability to create actual advertisements that will show up on the side panel of a user's timeline and in the newsfeed. Another great benefit of working with paid advertising versus just your organic content is you can target your audience, and so you can really fine tune and hone in on who you're looking to reach for a specific event or for your organization's target market. So if you have an upcoming event that would most interest a woman who lives in Kentucky between, say, the ages of 20 and 35, you can target your ads to show up on the timelines of Facebook users that meet that exact criteria. You can also hone in on interests, behaviors, and more to ensure you're reaching your target audience to sell tickets to your events. And a really great way that you can see from the Facebook platform, the advertising platform, for how you can hone in, you can look into all of the information that Facebook gathers from a user, anything from pages that they like, different brands that they are connected to or they're following, and then even their behaviors, maybe different events that they've gone to before. Facebook gathers all that information and really helps you give specific information on who you're trying to reach, that you can target them specifically and make sure that your advertising dollars are going to reaching the people that you want.
And just a really generic example, yet a really good one, is if you're obviously selling concert tickets, you can target people who have expressed that they enjoy going to concerts, they like music, and you know that you're reaching the right people and you're not just spending your money reaching people who have no interest in going to a concert.
Now that we've discussed and explained how Facebook and marketing relate, showed some strategies on promoting your posts for optimal exposure, and how to sell tickets using those strategies, we want to leave you with the top 3 most important things to remember as you venture off on your own. First, create content that people will care about. This will agree with both the new Facebook algorithm and the people digesting your content. When a Facebook user comes across a piece of content that they find valuable, they feel more inclined to pay attention to it and share it with the people in their own network. Brand your posts through branded graphics. Visual posts are best on Facebook, and branding those graphics is even better. No matter where your post ends up, those readers will be able to relate your visual to your brand with your logo included. If your posts are branded, it will also create a sense of legitimacy among readers, convincing them that your organization is not just another spam-like Facebook account trying to hack their feed and bore them, but really give them meaningful content and create a relationship with them. Finally, solidify an objective or goal for each Facebook campaign and always post accordingly. By doing so, you will have direction for your content. For example, if your goal is to sell more tickets to the Justin Timberlake concert coming up to town, generate content based on that and don't stray from it. In the end, you will gain more exposure and you'll reach more people compared to if you just randomly posted something that was just thrown together. You can never go wrong with a little direction and a little planning that meets your goals and has a strategy behind it.
We hope that the information discussed in today's webinar will help your organization get a jump start with Facebook advertising strategies and any of the hidden strategies that help you really make your post be seen more. As always, we will be selecting 2 lucky winners who attended our webinar to win a Starbucks gift card. Be sure to check your email to see if you won. We'll be sending that out probably tomorrow morning, so be on the lookout. Also, if you have a question about today's webinar or any of the strategies we discussed, feel free to contact us via Facebook or Twitter. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to like TicketForce on Facebook by going to facebook.com/TicketForce. And then you can find us on Twitter just at TicketForce. Also, if there's a social media outlet or topic you'd like to see us discuss in a future webinar, send a tweet to @TicketForce. We're always open to suggestions and want to help you with any of your marketing needs. Thanks again for attending today's webinar. We hope to see you again at our next one in August.